Hello there, hello there, hello there. Welcome back to the Agostino Zinga Show with your host, Agostino Zinga, and this is episode number 852, part 2 of the DJ Alfredo special. RIP to the legend, that DJ Alfredo. I missed some parts of the first part, so I'm doing it in the second part, which is a totally different podcast, but we're here regardless, if that makes sense. Different episode, same theme, so we're here. We're here. So I had to rush off at the last episode at the end of it because I had a haircut appointment at 6 p.m. Hence, as you can see, the little fade in that, got the little beard shaped up and whatnot, you feel me? So I'm all shaped up, I'm all faded up, I'm ready to go for the start of the new year, heading into New Year's Eve. Don't have much crazy plan, to be honest. Maybe get some dinner, maybe get some drinks, but there won't be no clubbing because, to be honest, I think most of you are aware, going out clubbing or going out partying on New Year's Eve is the worst. It's up there with going out clubbing or partying during Halloween. Avoid it at all cost. Avoid it at all cost. If anything, over the last few years, I remember when I was younger, I used to get a lot of FOMO over New Year's Eve because I used to think because I was always like in church. So when I was younger, we used to go to church like basically every day. And there'll be a special church celebration for New Year's Eve. And don't get me wrong, they did a pretty good job. It'll be like a concert type of affair. They'll invite guest speakers. It'll be a big deal. It'll be pretty fun in itself. But I was very much away from anything quote unquote secular. So I always had a lot of FOMO about New Year's. I always felt like, oh my God, man, I'm missing out. All this fun stuff is happening and I'm stuck in church. So I would always be looking forward to finally going out on New Year's Eve. Then when I finally got, a bit older and had my own independence to choose what I wanted to do, guess what happened? I realized that New Year's Eve parties aren't even that fun. They're fucking horrible. The best ones I've had, or the funnest ones I've had, or the funnest ones I've been to, were the ones where I went to people's houses. The house parties were so fun, man. When I went to people's houses back in the day with my friends, we'd go to somebody's rooftop somewhere. Somebody have like a penthouse suite somewhere. You celebrate there. You pop off some fireworks. You drink some champagne or prosecco. You'd get a bit tipsy. Hang out with your friends. You'd high five. You make all these big plans and you wouldn't follow through. But regardless, that was the only fun I've had for New Year's Eve. But then obviously, unfortunately for me anyway, the older I got, the more independence I got to then decide what I wanted to do. But then the older you become, the less likely your friends are going to be willing to do birthday parties or New Year's Eve events at their house. Because people now have nice houses, either if they rent them or mortgage or they own them outright. They don't exactly want to invite strangers into their house to mess up their house. So they'd rather not. So the idea of going out New Year's Eve is crazy, especially with the cost. London clubs, London restaurants, London bars, they go crazy. They go crazy during New Year's Eve. The amount you have to pay for crappy entertainment, for some for some guy to be playing on the piano, or for some girl to be, on the flute or something at some event. Horrendous. Or for you to go to a restaurant where they have these set meals or course meals, whatever. Nah. Not a fan of it. Not a fan of it. So I do try to avoid New Year's Eve, with all of my flipping effort. And this year is going to be exactly the same. So most likely go to dinner, eat something pretty nice, and then maybe head to a bar somewhere and bring in the new year that way, and then back home. Bang. That's it. Nothing else needs to be done. Nothing else needs to be done. And I would even go as far as saying that you don't actually need to leave your house. You don't actually need to leave your house because there's only going to be weapons out there. There's only going to be chances out there. There's only going to be people looking to have the best time of their life type of thing going out there. And their energy can be quite annoying. So you're better off just staying at home. Just stay at home, pour yourself a drink, whatever, and give yourself a toast. Watch the fireworks because I guess in the UK, I don't know if you have it in where you are right now, but in the UK, they broadcast the firework things on regular TV. They have a fireworks display. I think it's along the Thames. So they usually broadcast that for free to watch on TV and shit, which is a good way to enter in the new year. And obviously they have the countdown. So you don't really need to go anywhere. As long as you got some good company or you got some good drinks or whatever else to enjoy, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So that's basically what I've been up to. As well, on top of that, what's I've been doing? Oh yeah, the last day yesterday. So after I got my haircut, I ventured out, which I don't usually do, because as you guys know, I'm a bit of a homebody. I don't like to kind of go out, even though I go out a lot for raving and stuff. I don't really go out a lot, if that makes any sense. Does that make any sense? Even though I do go out, I don't go out, if that makes any sense. So I then decided to head out and check out my friend Max's restaurant. It's actually called Lenny's, which is weird. But hey, I love him anyway, so regardless. Who I weirdly enough met through the power of the internet. I met him through the Random Show, I think, precisely. He was a fan of that, and then reached out to a friend of mine. Oh no, reached out to somebody. No, actually, that's how the story goes. Max reaches out to Dino, who used to run The Alibi. So big up Dino Joe from The Alibi. Back in the day, he was one of the people that gave me and Miles a chance to set up our own night at The Alibi, which is basically what got me DJing. So he's very instrumental in that regard. So big up Dino Joe. So he linked up with him. I think they're old friends, and essentially said, yeah, I'm a fan of this guy who does this thing, this stream, talking about comedy shit. And then guess what happened? Dino's like, yeah, I know that guy. I used to work with it, or I used to flip in run The Alibi, and he used to do nights in my club or my little basement bar. And he puts us in touch. We get talking now. And he starts talking to me about pizza. Chewing my ear off about fucking pizza, going crazy. Pizza this, pizza that, obsessed with pizza. I love pizza. So much so, he's telling me about this mission that he went on, where he went to this place in America called New Haven to go and discover or try out or try and see if he could replicate the style of pizzas they have in New Haven. And he brought back some of the recipes, he brought back some of the knowledge, he brought back some of the experience, and basically did his own thing here in London. And the wild thing was, I was there in the beginning when he was just ranting and raving about pizza, talking passionately about food, the restaurant industry, how the market is going to make and shit. And now suddenly, very, very quickly, it feels like, he's now got his own little spot within a bar called the Bedford Tavern. And the Bedford Tavern is this little pub, which is kind of, I'm going to say maybe near like Highbury Islington, not too far from there. Maybe a little bit far from me, but it was okay to jump on my bike and cycle over there. But essentially, he's got a little kitchen set up in the Bedford Tavern, which is a nice little pub. And he basically sits there, bangs out pizzas, and, provides people with some good fripping pizzas. And let me not even say they're good. I'd say they are probably some of the best pizzas I've had in a long freaking time. To be honest as well, the UK has a weird thing with pizzas. I think in London especially, we had a pretty decent pizza scene for a while. Big up everybody from London that remembers Voodoo Ray's. But I thought Voodoo Ray's was pretty decent for like the slices that they sold. Voodoo Ray's was this restaurant in Dalston that was really fucking cool. But unfortunately, it kind of fell off after a while, the quality of the pizzas and shit. But it was a great little hangout to go to after the clubs. And they'd sell you slices, the kind of New York style. But they'd sell you aggressively big ones. You could go there and buy like a whole pie, a whole pizza if you wanted to. But the pizzas are usually incredibly big. They sometimes be bigger, way bigger than the paper plate that you had it on. But they're incredibly tasty. And now we don't have that anymore. Now everybody's doing like Napolitan style pizzas and shit. And I'm not really a fan of it. We have places like Pizza Pilgrims. We have places like Franca Manca that do pretty decent stuff, which I'm not really a big fan of. But I guess the common place people go to for pizzas is probably Domino's. And I'd say probably Pizza Express. That kind of covers all the bases. Pizza Express probably is the best version of it. I was talking about it yesterday, actually. Because it's a restaurant you can sit down in. And they also do other things like lasagna and chips and shit. And they serve drinks. So it kind of covers all the bases. But there is a bit of a gap in the market for good pizza in London. So Max set up this place called Lenny's Pizza, which is, like I said before, his name actually isn't Lenny, but hey, still, you can call him Lenny. And it's flipping amazing. No takeouts, no delivery. You rock up to the bar, you order what you want to order. It gets put in this big flipping oven, and it comes out looking fucking amazing. I'll show you what I got. I got this. I forgot which one I actually got on the menu. Which has he got the menu on here? I don't think he's got the menu on here, has he? I forgot which one I actually got, but that's the one that I purchased when I was there yesterday. And let me tell you, I absolutely destroyed it. I absolutely ate every single piece of this down to the fucking crust. And if you know me, you know I'm a bit of a baby when it comes to crust. I always leave crust alone. But I absolutely tore everything apart. There's some other guys there too who I got introduced to who are really cool. We ended up swapping some pizzas. They ended up giving me some of theirs. So I had loads more. I ended up leaving there looking like I was fucking 6 months to 8 months pregnant. Absolutely nutty. But I enjoyed every piece of it. It was absolutely delightful. The base or the crust of the pizza was hard enough where the toppings didn't flop off, but firm enough where you could kind of eat it without it being super chewy. The ingredients on the top felt incredibly fresh. There was a lot of cheese on there, a lot of lovely sauce. The vegetables tasted lovely. There was a nice little pot of parmesan cheese, sorry, you can add onto the pizza. Also chili flakes, which I shouldn't have probably added. That's why probably my arsehole's on fire. I probably shouldn't have added chili flakes on my pizza, but I was feeling good. I was feeling hyped. I had a Guinness. I was watching Liverpool v Leicester on the big screen. I was feeling myself. But I swear to God, this pizza might have been one of the best pizzas I've had in a long freaking time. Just look at it as it zooms in. Look at all the little bubbles. Look at all the little gaps. Look at the no overabundance of oil. Look at all the lovely ingredients. Look at how it's all been cut. Absolutely delicious. And I can't wait to go back there again. I'm really eager to go back there again. I'll probably have to give it a bit of a break in between to make sure that I can kind of fit into my stomach and maybe go there super fasted. But I thought, honestly, one of the best pizzas I've had in a long freaking while. And like I said before, look at the crust. As you hold it up, I've held up a slice here on the screen. You can see a bit of the slice there. You can see the crust. You can see how firm it is. You can see it doesn't flop too much. You can see that you can basically eat it in your hand with one hand without necessarily having to kind of like hold the bottom up, without everything kind of flopping off of it. Just incredible. Great fucking ratio of sauce to cheese to crust. And you know, for me personally, again, I'm not a pizza aficionado, but from what I've tasted over the years, this definitely is one of the best pizzas I've had, and definitely reminds me, harkens back to the times that I went to America many moons ago, where you're tasting it, you're like, oh shit, this tastes nothing like what we had back at home. And allegedly, according to Max, the ingredients are super basic. It's basically dough, water and salt, no olive oil, and the ingredients on top of it. So it's super bare bones. Incredibly bare bones, but no, so incredibly basic in that regard, without any additives, without anything crazy, and you taste everything. It tastes absolutely amazing. Honestly, I swear on my life, it tastes absolutely scrumptious. I love everything about it, and the prices are pretty decent too. I think it ranges from about, I think the cheapest I saw, I think there might be like a £9 option, but it goes from like £10 to £16. But again, like I said, it's a massive piece of pizza. It's a massive pie, you know, essentially. I would say if you were not so hungry or whatever, you could probably share one with two people. You could probably get through with even one, maybe with 3 people, or maybe I would order 2. But honestly, like, I obviously demolished the whole thing because I fasted before I went there. But you could definitely be able to split this between your family and friends if you actually went there with them. But I recommend you check it out. Honestly, I recommend you check out Lenny's Pizzas. They do amazingly great things. Actually, check out their story here, see what they posted. But I'm a big fan. I'm definitely going to try and go back there again before it kind of closes, because obviously it's a small little pop-up shop at the moment. But I'm definitely going to try and go back there again recently, or sometime soon actually, to be able to get the half and half pizza that you see here, how it comes out piping hot out of the fucking oven. It looks absolutely scrumptious. I want more. I want to maybe eventually end up tasting everything on the menu and see Wagwan in that respect. But it is honestly one of the best pieces I've had in a fucking long time. And it's real credit that he's around doing what he needs to be doing out here. I fucking love to see it. So here you got a bit of the process of what goes on and how they make the pizzas. You got the cheese going on top and the tomato and shit. It goes into the oven. As you can see here, versus the video on Lenny's Pizza's Instagram, which is Lenny's APizza, sorry, all one word, Lenny's APizza, all one word there, via Instagram. And like I said, this is a New Haven style pizza. So if you know about New Haven style pizzas and how they make them, I guess you understand what they do here. So don't expect any flipping pineapple pizzas and shit. But if you're into pizzas, you love what they do, then I recommend you check it out, because honestly, this shit is so freaking good. Like, I enjoyed every piece of it. I destroyed every piece of it, and I honestly can't wait to go back. So big up Lenny's APizza. I think that's the half and half that I was meant to get, but somebody just said I get the other one that I did get, so I'm happy I did do that in general. What else we got here? Got another pie. This is one of the ones I want to get though. This one I want to get, where it features like pepperoni. I'm not sure if that's red onions, right? I think it looks like red onions. There might be some olives in there too, but I'll probably want to get this as well next time I go. There's also a potato one that I want to get. That looks very, very, very tasty. So I definitely want to give that one a go next time I go as well. If you're about further, let's actually see what else they got on here. There we go. There we go. It's my post that I did on there. Another person also rating it. Called me back. Oh no, that's courtesy of their post actually. And there's obviously the owner of the little establishment itself there as well, hanging out, having a good time. The opening times, as are featured on Instagram, you can find it out there. See if you want to pop in there and give them a look-see. But I definitely want to go try it. Maybe this. I think the one I want to try is this one. I think that might be the potato one. I think that's a potato. Is it the one? If meat or animal products ain't for you, we got you covered at Lenny's. The vegan Dan, tomato sauce, sliced tomatoes, red onions, and rosemary. And the vegan tomato pie features tomato sauce, garlic, and oregano. And they've also got a King Cash, which features tomato sauce, mozzarella, red onions, chili, and a hint of garlic. Yeah, I want to try this one. This one with the potatoes, with the fucking red onions and shit, with no cheese. I want to try this. That looks fucking delicious. That looks fucking delicious. Honestly, that looks delicious. So I definitely want to give that a go. So big up the pizza place. It was absolutely incredible. Can't wait to check it out when I do. When I come and check it out again very soon. Can't wait to check it out very soon. But I do recommend that you check it out yourself, because honestly, I had a fucking blast. It wasn't actually the pizza's fault that my stomach went crazy. I went crazy after the fact. I was drinking a bunch of fucking Magnums on the way home, cycling. I, for some reason, decided it's a good idea to go to KFC and get a chicken burger. And yeah, you know, chicken, mayo, pepperoni, tomato. My ass went fucking crazy and decided doing backflips. But regardless, had a blast. Great to fucking hang out in the pub, watching some football, eating some pizza amongst some friends, and having a good time. So I recommend you check out Lenny's Pizza. It's absolutely blast. I loved every piece of it. I loved every single blood clot piece of it. I swear I did. I swear I did. Moving on. We still want to give a shout out to the one and only DJ Alfredo. Like I said previously, it's a real crying shame that a legend like him has passed away. Especially because, you know, he was one of the founding members, or one of the founding figures behind making Ibiza what it is today now, especially for you guys out there who are currently enjoying it and loving the space and stuff. He's definitely one of the pioneers that kind of led people to go in the first place. So he's absolutely killed it, lived a very interesting life, played at interesting places, and essentially just been a part of the scene, you know, since forever, essentially. And somebody that I kind of always kind of, you know, weirdly looked up to, mostly because of the style he played, like I said previously in the other episode, in terms of mixing different genres, in terms of the way he kind of, you know, used his name in his DJ name and shit, all that sort of stuff I'm a big fan of. But then, of course, you know, the tragic story is, over time, maybe, you know, the clubs started to kind of fill themselves, started to become a little bit choosy about who would go in the booking area and green room, and then boom, that person just, you know, disappeared, or Alfredo wasn't really the biggest part of those things anymore, and kind of moved on to the other things. But he's still a legend, still left a massive imprint, still left the, you know, still one of the people that you kind of look back at and think, oh my god, definitely was way ahead of his time. So big up DJ Alfredo, RIP to the fucking legend. We're gonna play another set from DJ Alfredo. This is now courtesy of Trippin TV. Big up Trippin TV, an original platform that features a lot of DJ streams. This is way before even Boiler Room. They're absolutely killing it. I remember I used to rip a lot of their sets from Trippin and put them on their phone, or rip playlists courtesy of Mixes DB. So big up Trippin. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. interesting style too. I love how the mixer is like propped up a little bit, so it kind of sits up, so it kind of sits on an angle. No one does that anymore now. I love the fact that there's dancers on stage now at the clubs. No one does that either anymore. I love that DJ Alfredo is wearing something that isn't just straight black. No one does that anymore. I love it. 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 Big up DJ Alfredo one time. Big up DJ Alfredo one time. Legends never die. Legends never blood clot die. You gotta love DJ Alfredo. Gotta love DJ Alfredo. Got the dancers, the vibes, wearing fucking boxing gloves. Love it. Look at that mix. Big up DJ Alfredo, man. Big up DJ Alfredo. Big up DJ Alfredo. Legends never fucking die. Legends never fucking die. So good to see these flipping sets. So good to see how fun they were. How people were raving, having a great time. So good to see also how interesting the clubs looked as a spectacle, right? How interesting the clubs looked design-wise, atmosphere-wise. They had far more to look at, far more like a spectacle. People still want to take it on their phones, just trying to absorb it, like, because you can never replicate. You can't really replicate what you. The only thing you can replicate is maybe, you know, Carti flipping, play with, you know, Rolling Loud sets. But most of the time, even Jay-Z will struggle to replicate that set, you know, in a flipping smaller venue or whatever it may be. So I'll give those guys props. I'll give those guys props for still bringing out, still banging it. But yeah, what's the thing about Central C? Okay, cool. Let's actually move on. Let's actually move on. So here we have it. Here we have it. Here we have it. So where am I gonna go from? So let's go back to where we left off from. So in the last episode we left off following these two Kick streamers who headed off to Colombia in order to secure themselves some women's to have some adult fun with, right? It's this thing that a lot of people do nowadays. They basically refer to as passport bros. The idea is that they go to third world countries and they essentially try to pick up loads of women, sometimes romantically, sometimes just through pure sex work and stuff, and try to, you know, get them because they're young or because they're dumb, they don't have much or whatever. That's usually the narrative they come in with. But the thing I find funny is that most of these girls that these guys are trying to approach outside clearly look like, you know, prostitutes, clearly look like sex workers, and clearly look like they've been done before, you know, that sort of category. So that's the case. Why do these guys, especially these, like, you know, dorky kind of white dudes, think they got any chance with women? They're already running, you know, when they're already running for an imaginary animal they don't really flip and have. So I think all that stuff is absolutely hilarious. So these two guys go to they go to Colombia to try and secure some women, and the guy pulls up who doesn't look like a boyfriend, and the guy pulls up near to the restaurant, and I guess they're gonna open the window or the curtain sometime very soon. But regardless, they go to Colombia, they have a good time, but unfortunately it doesn't work out the way they think it's gonna work out, and they end up getting drugged. And this person on Twitter put together an amazing thread detailing everything that happened step by step. I had to leave it, I think, halfway through, but we're gonna pick up through where he kind of left it, or where I kind of left it off, and see what happened, because I'm curious to see why would you do that, you know? Why would somebody do that? I'm curious to see it. So let's see how it goes full screen. Let's see how it goes full screen. Boom, 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 boom. You scroll down. Let's see where we left it off. I think we left it off somewhere around here. I'll explain about the drug again. I think we might have left it off somewhere around here. Maybe this section here. Was it this one? One common drug used is scopolamine. Not that bit. I think it might have been around here, because I think it was when the girls tried to split them up, decided to work them individually to try and get them to comply. So I think it was around this part. I think it was around here. There we go. I think it was about here is where I kind of lost hope for these guys ever securing a deal where they could maybe, you know, smash us free or something. That doesn't happen. They're gonna pay one way or the other. So let's put this in here. So that's $15, and of course give it 20, and then of course you flipping leave the bartender something too when they eventually end up coming, or the cleaner. So essentially we left it around here. I think here's where we left it, maybe somewhere around here. So let's play it from around here and see what did transpire with these young gentlemen as they were out there in Colombia trying to score some ladies of the night, it looks like.
Captchan, ¿cómo te sientes? ¿Estás drogado?
And by the way, this is we kind of understood or read between the lines that a lot of these TTSs were guys or their fans trying to warn these guys that they were getting drugged, like warn these guys that the girls were taking their drinks to the kitchen or to the toilet, sorry, they weren't listening. And then some person got, you know, fed up and just basically sent a TTS in Spanish, basically saying that, hey, I think you've been drugged. You know what I mean? Kind of getting his alert up, but he's still not alerted. And he's still, you know, basically his friend's saying probably to calm down or something. I don't know. But it seems like he's a little bit agitated. I'm not too sure why. But hey, let's continue.
Captain, Captain, don't you dare passing out. Don't sleep.
See? Look at the fucking TTS, the stream chat is trying to help. Look at how he's falling over. Well, the guys, hold on. You see the, by the way, again, I love these girls personally. I'm a big fan of them. Like I said previously in the other stream, I'm a big fan of the idea that these guys go to these countries in South America. They deem them to be third world countries, and I think the girls are just dumb because they're from there, not knowing that you can be pretty smart and a pretty savvy operator being in that type of situation, and also not knowing that these people are most likely doing this to support their family, support themselves, you know, put a family member through fucking hospital, wherever they're doing it for. They've got a goal in mind and they're going to achieve that goal. Nothing's going to come in their way. And they see these guys are disposable. They see them as marks. And it's funny because all these passport bros go to these different countries and they think that they're going to score marks when in fact they are the mark as soon as they arrive in that flipping place. So let's go back one more bit where the guy runs to the camera and says something about he thinks he's been drugged. He's not just running, he's stumbling. He's so fucked up from whatever drug they gave him that he's stumbling towards the camera.
Don't sleep.
Look at that, he's stumbling, can't keep his balance. The girl in red notices, she follows him, she starts swaying too, which is a good little, by the way, big up the girl, that's a good, nice little touch, I didn't notice that. That's a nice little touch. She also sways as she's walking to make him feel like they're in it together. But they're not, because she's clearly stone cold sober, as is the other girl that's sitting on the table. And the girl that's sitting on the table, in my opinion, is also a pro, because I feel like she leaves the most of the devilish sort of like sprinkling of the drug for the girl in red. But the girl in black does a good job of keeping the other guy occupied by being overtly sensual, overtly flirtatious, and maybe sexual in a way. The other girl, not so much. She kisses her guy from time to time, puts her arms around him, reassures him with some nice sounding, you know, Spanish words in that Colombian accent and shit. But the girl in black is really doing the dog's work. She's the one that's like wearing a very revealing dress. She's lifting up her dress so you can see maybe a bit of a bare bum. She's letting the guy touch her up and shit. She's doing a lot of that stuff to basically keep him occupied, because his friend actually in other parts is trying to tell him, hey, we're being drugged. But he's so wrapped up in this girl that he's touching that he probably doesn't think he could ever get in real life. He's just like, you don't pay attention. That girl's got his full attention. So they work as a brilliant team. And think about it also, those two guys understand Spanish. So it's not like they're doing this speaking. There's some whispering going on, but these two guys also understand Spanish. So they're doing this all without speaking. Fucking pros. So let's go down to the next video. The next video says as follows. The caption says, Chris can be seen. So the next video says as follows. Oh, sorry.
Caption
Took the shot to the bathroom, bro.
The caption says, Chris can be seen taking a huge gulp of the drink that was mixed in the bathroom, and he has an unpleasant reaction. Both victims can be seen drinking from the glass numerous times, which is very dangerous. Which I said previously in the other stream, it's not very common to go somewhere and like girls are pouring you drinks as a guy. It's usually the other way around. So if you're in a foreign country and people are pouring you drinks, or they're literally pouring a drink in your mouth, you got to be a little bit suspicious. You have to be.
She just took the shot to the bathroom, bro.
The TTS are trying to help him again.
Took the shot to the bathroom,
but they're not
bro.
Listening. And by the way, in case you're wondering, it's a really good TTS. I guess they've got an AI of the guy that streams, and that's the TTS voice. So it sounds like somebody's saying it, but it's just the TTS voice is the guy's AI voice.
Ask her when she's gonna clean your pipe.
That's a very good question, by the way. Nothing's happened so far.
Chris, do you want to lose all your money? Call Baldy over for backup. She just took the shot to the bathroom, bro.
No, come on, come say hello. Please. Mira. Lo que quiero decir la gente que ella merece más.
Watch, Captain.
She doesn't want to get on camera. She's very shy about that. He's trying to kiss her up and shit. Yeah. We continue on to the next caption. The next caption says, these are the last two clips that Captain G and Chris Travels can be seen in. Last two clips. No one knows where they are and who they're with. Both of them look to be half awake and clueless as to what is going on. Fucking hell. You see the girl in red talking to her friend in black. The guy in the Christmas hat is stone cold out. The girl pulls down her
Policía
dress.
en ruta, capitán, estás bien drogado, güey.
She goes and covers the camera, right?
¿Qué pasó?
¿Qué pasó? Talking to them. Connection's low, bit rate, hold on.
Hello.
Hello, she's talking to the camera a little bit. I think she puts a jacket over it, I think, in this bit. I think she puts a jacket over it. I think
Hello.
so. She's talking to the camera. Yeah, there we go. Then it gets disconnected. So she maybe just knocks it on purpose. So it disconnects, which is fucking great little move. Next clip here.
Las prostitutas que tenemos aquí.
The TTS is blowing up the girls' spots, but they're not listening. The girls can hear it. The girls are paying attention to what's being said on the TTS, but the lads are not listening. They're not paying attention. They're so pussy whipped. They're so fucking, they're so enamored by these girls. They're not paying attention to all the warning signs their chat and their fans are telling them. They're trying to tell them, please, guys, these girls are not who you think they are. Please, for the love of God.
Hacemos películas para Pornhub. Así es como ganamos nuestro dinero para poder pagarte. GG. They keep turning off Captain Stream.
Exactly, yeah.
No.
Hey, Pudu, we got you on
Look at
camera.
Angry there. Look at the camera.
Finger their buttholes. If they reject, kick them out. Kick them.
That's funny. Finger their buttholes instead of kick them out. It continues. While I was typing this, I was informed that the Airbnb host arrived at the location with police, and both Captain G and Chris Chavez are both alive and well. Just confused as to what happened. Wow. So the Airbnb host somebody contacted the Airbnb host to get the police to come. The Airbnb host, I think, is right in here. We are ready with the police and your friends. They are in good health, which is the important thing. They are awake, a little confused, but they are fine. We are ready with the police to catch the prostitutes. We are going to put their faces in every possible place. Oh, I see. So this is bad for, I'm thinking, why are they cooperating? I guess this is bad for Colombian tourism, innit? If Colombia is a poor country, if Colombia is what people say is a third world country, but they also have a big, it's a tourist place as well, they want tourists to feel comfortable. They want passport bros to feel comfortable, essentially, right? They want passport bros to feel comfortable to go there and not feel like they're going to get robbed. So they're not going to encourage this type of behavior. They're going to try and stamp it out. So it would be surprising that they have, the Airbnb people are closely aligned with the police or whatever, or will be helpful with the police to get people like that arrested, because they want to make sure they can clean up their image to make Colombia or Medellin a lot more of an attractive location for people like myself or others, whoever who want to go there, foreigners, gringos, to not be so scared if you do end up going. But let's continue. I just want to remind you to stay vigilant and never let your guard down. The person says here in this tweet, especially when traveling, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Is there any other updates on here before we continue? Sorry, what summarizes this? Actually, I think I might go on the person's account. Let me see. Maybe the person's account has an actual summary here, update, because this is from a couple of days ago. So let's see what Slapburgers has said as the recent update about what's going on here, because I want to know how this concludes, because this will be a good way to wrap it up. I want to know, Wagwan, how did this conclude? What happened in the end? Did they end up finding the prostitute? I think, if I'm not mistaken, they robbed everything. They took their wallets, they took their phones, and that was it, basically. I don't think anything else happened to the guys, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw an update earlier. They robbed everything that they had, but then nothing else happened apart from what I just said there. But there's no other update from this guy's account. Let me actually type in their names. What are their names? Their names are Captain G, right? Captain G and Chris Travels, I think it's there, right? Yeah, that's it. Captain G and Chris Travels. So let's put their name on. Let's put their names on here, and let's see what I want in it, because I'm actually curious to see what actually happened to them and how it actually went down. So let me go here. Bear me a second as I get it up to load on here, because I'm curious to see what Guan. You get me? Let's do it here. Bish Bash Boom, Captain G, Chris. Was it Chris? It's Chris Travels, right? CRIS Travels. Let's see Wagwan. Let's see Wagwan, because I'm curious to see how this story actually ended. Bada bing, bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, so Kick Streamers, Captain G. Okay, no other update, looks like. No other update. Nothing more happened, I think, update-wise. But we got the majority of what happened and what occurred. I'm sure some of you guys have seen this on this particular pod or this particular stream. I'm sure some of you guys have heard. But yeah, man, like I said before, I've got a controversial opinion on all these happening, or unpopular opinion. Similar to the kid in Dubai, free him, by the way, the 18-year-old kid in Dubai who's now been arrested, who's now been sentenced to 1 year in Dubai for having sex with a 17-year-old girl. He was 18 at the time, and essentially, it's nothing bad about it, but essentially the mum got annoyed that her daughter was having sex. Basically, she didn't like it, so when she went back to England, when it happened, she reported the kid to the Dubai police. And the kid got arrested. So unfortunately he's in prison. But I said before in my stream or in my podcast, I think that kid has learned a valuable lesson of like how to move in certain countries. I think maybe going on a family holiday for the first time and then just smashing some randoms, maybe a little bit much. Obviously you can do that if you're here, but places in the Middle East have very different rules, very different laws. So you probably should be aware of those type of things, or just move accordingly. And I think even more so if you go to countries in Central America, South America, where people's actions are kind of dictated by their circumstances. So maybe these girls aren't as evil as they seem, but because of the situation they're in and because of how hungry they are, they're going to do some things that are probably going to be, a little bit questionable. And they are really good at it because they need what they need. They need the phones to sell, to get money. They need whatever else the cash they're going to steal from you. They are like kind of down bad in a way. So they're really good at what they do. And you have absolutely no idea what's going on. And plus, they're beautiful girls. So you're going to get, enamored by it. You're going to get fucking mesmerized by it. But for the most part, if you keep your head on the swivel, if you have a little bit of street smarts, if you're not dumb, if you're also not going there purely to like, because I feel like a lot of these guys also, these passport bros, kind of go to these countries to bump these girls, if that makes sense. I feel like they go there to bump them. I don't feel like they go there to actually spend money, have a good time. Like, I don't know if this makes any sense. I don't feel like they go there to spend money, have a good time. They're not going there to show out. They're not going there to kind of show the girls a good time. They're going there to try and fuck as many slaws as they can for as little money as possible. Which I always thought is a weird dynamic, because it's almost like you're trying to undercut people who are already like, living, maybe just above the poverty line. You're better off maybe, and again, maybe you won't do nothing in terms of improving your interaction, but maybe trying, that I think the girl said, it's going to cost you 300 pesos or whatever, $68. I don't know. Maybe give them 100. Maybe it might fucking help something. Maybe it might get them not to call their fucking brothers and shit. Maybe it might get them to not fucking sprinkle that shit in your drink. Maybe they might, I don't know, like why they don't go there and actually just, no one, what's it, be a gentleman, but go there and just act accordingly. But to be fair, guys that do go to over these type of things are very desperate. They're usually damn bad themselves. So they are doing everything and anything to secure whatever they want to secure. So I kind of get it to some extent. But these guys are just extremely lucky that this didn't go left. Because it seems like these girls are pros. These girls wanted the phones, they wanted the money. They wanted to separate these guys from their money and their phones ASAP, and they did it. But these guys are lucky because this could have gone bad. These guys could have died. Like, legitimately, these guys could have died. So they're really lucky that they got away with their lives. They've lost some possessions. That's perfectly fine. But they are perfectly okay in that regard. So big up these guys in that regard. But they're incredibly dumb for how they were moving. And they kind of learned a valuable lesson that you can't just go around gallivanting around the world with no level of street smarts and not understanding where you are, what you're doing, because people are going to take advantage of you and you're going to get separated from your possessions. So move accordingly. But like I said, I'm actually rooting for the girls. I love that they can kind of exploit and take advantage of people who feel like they can go there and exploit and take advantage of them. They turn the tables. Granny's your aunt, Bob's your uncle. Big up the Colombian baddies. Big up the Colombian baddies. Cool. Let's move on. So, next post here to talk about. next post here to talk about regarding this lovely podcast. Those of you who are tuning in, I appreciate you for always being here and supporting the cause. It's always, always, always appreciated. So let's continue. This is a really good vibe story, by the way. Big up this man. So this dude's husband, what? Yeah. This guy's wife basically noticed some guy on the street or some kid on the street playing the trumpet, and he had a sign next to him that said he's playing the trumpet in order to raise money to buy a PS5. And the dude came back later on, bought the guy the PS5 and the controller, and told him, hey, go home and spend time with your family. Here's the PS5 you're trying to raise money for. And it's a really nice, wholesome sort of story, sort of event that I wanted to play here for you for the Christmas spirit vibe things. I know Christmas has passed, but still, this is nice to see. This is nice to see.
My husband always taking care of the folks' kids that's in need when it comes to a good cause. Merry Christmas.
Bro, you can go home and enjoy your day, bro.
You
Just
go home,
right?
sweetheart. Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
yes,
you can go
we're
home
serious.
And enjoy your day, bro.
Merry Christmas, sweetheart.
And
yes.
keep the 100 too. Go home and enjoy your day. I brought you another controller so your brother can have one.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. That's so fucking cool. That is so fucking cool. Don't get me wrong. If that was me personally, I wouldn't have recorded it. There's no need to do that. But, you know, it's a nice, wholesome thing to share. And it's probably going to get a lot of likes on TikTok. People are going to be really happy for it. But the kid's on a very sketchy place. It looks like he's in the middle of like a highway kind of thing. You know, there's a lot of cars going back and forth and stuff. I don't know how he expects to get money as well. There's a lot of cars. It seems that the traffic is moving quite freely. But in general, I guess he was hustling, doing what needs to be done to raise the money for the PS. And in the end, somebody rewarded him by giving a PlayStation for his hard work anyway. And he gets to go home and not be in the cold and shit. Most likely he'll probably go back out there and do it anyway, because it seems like he probably enjoys busking and shit, and I'd imagine he's probably good at playing the trumpet. But it's nice to see people doing this type of shit, you know, and just being nice and charitable, gifting people, and just recognizing people's hard work and what people are doing out there. I don't know, I feel like nowadays I see more of this more often. I feel like people understand, you know, how hard it is out there, and, you know, most likely this kid's smart, most likely this kid's able, but he just hasn't been, you know, in a position where he could probably save the amount needed to buy a PS5, which is what, £500+ or whatever, if you can get a hold of one. So I like people are just recognizing, hey, I can see you're hustling. I can see you're at least trying to do something to get this money. Let me help you out. Here's the console. Here's the extra controller. Play it to your heart's content. Go home, wrap up warm and enjoy. Absolutely great to see. Absolutely great to see. Big up that guy. Big up that guy. Now, this is an interesting one. This is a very interesting one because I don't really know much about the law that's associated with this show, but I do know the controversy. And I'm sure some of you guys have heard, or I spoke about it before in this podcast, regarding this controversy with Filthy Fellas. Filthy Fellas is basically a football show on YouTube with a bunch of friends. I think it's weekly. I'm not too sure if it's bi-weekly or weekly, but regardless, they do the football show on YouTube. They sometimes invite footballers on there too to do interviews, but it's mostly them talking about football topics, maybe putting together best teams over the years, maybe talking about current topics in terms of match reports, match reviews, blah 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 blah, whatever it may be. And during this year actually, there was a big scandal with Filthy Fellas where one of the guys called Tigo was involved in an unfortunate situation where it got revealed that he was stealing money from his group of friends. Now, Tigo's a white guy in this crew who was kind of like the host. So in this crew, there's mostly black boys and shit, but he was like the white guy in the crew who was kind of, you know, cool with everybody. But they all came up together, started the channel together, and they're doing pretty decently. And then I don't know how it got revealed, but somehow it got, that's how it got revealed. Really tragic situation. So if I'm not mistaken, there's a podcaster here in London, in the UK, I forgot his name again, but he's like a mixed race dude who people like refer to as like the UK Joe Rogan. He basically was meant to try to invest in Filthy Fellas. That thing was the deal. So I think that guy was meant to, some person was meant to invest in this podcast. That person asked for the accounts. They read through the accounts and they noticed some, some discrepancies. And they said, yeah, the money you said was here is not there, And then through that, that's when they then found out that their friend was stealing money. And the unfortunate part about it wasn't like their friend was, not that stealing money from your friends is ever okay, but it wasn't like he was stealing money, I don't know, to pay for his transport to get to the studio. He was stealing money like to put down a deposit on a house, to buy, you know, to fucking pay for his holiday, to pay for flights. Like he was like basically using the company's account as his own account, right? Which is pretty crazy. And but by that time they were making so much money and they were all getting paid a proper decent wage, no one recognized or no one saw until that person was about to invest. And obviously, you know, they all felt betrayed, they all felt angry, and they very publicly kicked him out of the group. And now he's not on the show anymore. So the show's restarted. Now, the controversy is this. The show restarted the other day, and they had Ola Aina on, right? The guy on the right-hand side. He's a professional football player. He plays for Nottingham Forest. Ola Aina went on the show, and everybody is saying that the show was terrible without Tigo. Tigo's a host. He's the one that was scamming his friends, robbed his friends, and the comments are brutal. So look at the comments on the show, the first show back since Tigo got sacked. The comment says as follows. At this rate, bring Tigo back because letting Steve run this kind of killed the whole thing. Another comment says, Tigo deserved the money he was stealing. Bottom set, no teacher in classroom. LOL. Another one says, I made it 14 minutes. Turns out those shopping trips that Tigo went on were well earned. So in these type of situations where the person that did you dirty is also an integral member of the team and is also somebody that was doing their bit to make the team blow, to make the situation work where it was going to work, it was good for the dynamic, and had a specific role. Because I remember even before when I was checking some clips of the show, you could tell that Tigo guy was mostly the host. You know, he kind of wrangled the lads, you know, because they're very boisterous, they're very loud, they're very hyper and shit. They was talking over each other. So he was the one person I was able to kind of bring it back, you know, wind it back, make it da-da-da. So without him there, it's basically like, you know, the kids running the school or the kids running the classroom, and people are not happy about it in the slightest. And they're feeling as if like the show has suffered greatly for it. So I'm wondering going forward, what would they do? Because if the show suffers, most likely they won't get enough, they won't get the same views they were getting before, they won't get as much money before. So will they be in a situation where they would be willing to get Tigo back on the show just to make sure that he's able to kind of, you know, make sure everything's in order, bring some sort of level of organization into the show in order to make the show run smoothly? Or is it really super important to keep him off the show to send a message that you can't steal, especially when it's a friend? Because I think the problem with the Tigo thing is that although he probably can explain it, I'm sure, it does look mad dodge. It looks like pure theft. It looks like pure fraud. And I think there's something different. Like, it does hit different when your friends steal money from you. When money goes missing, when stuff goes missing from your house and you find that it's your friend, you know, that can be a blow. That can be a hit. That can be a revelation that you probably can never recover back from. So there probably is really 0 to no chance that Tigo's ever going to be on Filthy Fellas again. But maybe he should, for the betterment of the show, because the viewers are suffering. The viewers, the fans, are complaining that the show just isn't what it once was without him. Not because he was a very important part of the show, like in terms of a, you know, a vocal voice, but also because of what he did in terms of organization and keeping some level of order what was going on. Now it's basically like the, you know, the inmates running the asylum, and people can't handle it. People cannot handle it, and most people are saying it made the Ola Aina interview essentially unwatchable. Essentially unwatchable, which is a real shame. So I'm curious to see what they do going forward with Filthy Fellas, because I predict most likely in the future a few more people will probably end up leaving. They'll probably need to hire somebody to fill in for Tigo anyway to do that role. Maybe they got somebody else in who could do that role, but they definitely can't run the show themselves, because clearly the fans have voted with, you know, by typing in the comments and made it very well known that they don't really like how it's going right now. So let's see what happens with Filthy Fellas. I'm curious to see how it all pans out. Big up Filthy Fellas. Big up Filthy Fellas. Or maybe don't know any fellas. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. So big up, big up, big up, big up Filthy Fellas. Now I wanted to post this because I think it was interesting post to kind of put on here regarding Christmas, right? And some of the reasons why, for the longest time, I never really liked it as a holiday. Mostly because when I was growing up, as I said, mentioned, numerous times on this pod, probably to the point of exhaustion, I grew up incredibly poor in the mind, in a way of like, there was never enough food in the house. The power would go out all the time. You have to fucking do your homework via a candle. You were eating fucking ketchup on bread and shit. It was kind of tough growing up. And sometimes Christmas was always a reminder of just how poor we were. And, it was a temporary situation. It didn't last forever. But there was a point where, my parents were kind of struggling. We weren't in a position to kind of help in terms of kids, of getting jobs and shit. So it was hard to keep everything going. And, two parents newly immigrated from another country, coming, trying to start up and do something. Having 3 kids in the house, free mouthfuls, me and my 2 brothers or 2 little brothers to kind of, support can be a lot. But Christmas was always a reminder of how tough it was. And it was interesting because back in the day, I do remember when I was in school. Yeah, I do remember when I was in school, actually, a lot of kids, myself included, would end up lying about Christmas. You would end up saying, oh yeah, I got this, I got that when you went to school, because no one could kind of like tell you didn't get it because there was no proof. You didn't have to bring back any evidence or proof of what you got or what you didn't get. So you could always go back to school and lie and say you got a bike, you got this, you got that, you got this computer, you got that, you got this fucking bed. I remember talking to somebody the other day, actually. One of the things I used to be obsessed with when I was in school was the beds that were like cars. Because all my friends that had money or had parents that had jobs, when you went to their homes to go hang out and play computer games, they had those beds that were like cars. Like a bed that's like a Ferrari, a bed that's like a Porsche, and I just had like a regular, I don't know, affordable bed or a shitty fucking single bed. So it'd always kind of be a reminder, like, oh shit, I don't have that. Why don't I have that? Because my parents are poor. So it was always kind of that, crappy reminder. So when Christmas came around, it was a bit of a sad holiday because of that constant reminder that, yeah, you don't have the ability to buy all these fancy gifts and shit. And it even hurt more because at the time, I remember my parents were trying to like make it fun by buying us gifts, but they can't really afford much. So one Christmas they'd get us a watch or something, or they'd buy us underwear. It would just make you way more depressed and sad. You end up crying when you open the gift because like they most likely had to like do without certain things to afford to buy you these Calvin Klein boxes, because they were like £30-50 back then. So it kind of make you feel bad that you put your parents in a position where they had to like buy something for you when they don't have, when they barely have money to keep the lights on. But that lying thing kind of like gave you a bit of reprieve. It gave you a bit of respite, and it kind of allowed you to kind of partake in the whole like Christmas thing and pretend like you had a great one. But then as the years went by, you know what happened as the years went by? You so started to realize that a lot of people were lying too. It wasn't just you. A lot of people were also lying about what they did and what they got for Christmas, because it didn't make any sense how everybody was having a great Christmas and celebrating when we all lived in this shitty area. It couldn't be possible that we were the only family that was kind of struggling. So clearly everybody was struggling, but the kids were just trying to find ways to kind of manage it and make it make sense for themselves, because, it can be quite traumatic and shit and depressing to be, to feel like you're the only one that doesn't have whatever you don't have. But then as time went by, the really cool thing about it, I feel like, was that Christmas became less about gifts. I feel like, I don't know what happened. Maybe it's just my area. Maybe it's London. I feel like for some reason, something changed with Christmas where it became less about gifts and more so about spending time with your family. And that was really helpful. Because this picture now, with this cute kid in front of the tree, surrounded by loads of presents, I feel like I haven't seen this in ages. I feel like I haven't seen a picture of a kid like this, surrounded by all these toys, all these gifts from the parents and whatever, in such a long time. I feel like this is like a bygone era. I feel like nowadays people are posting pictures of themselves with their families, dressed up in matching onesies and shit, Christmas jumpers, showing off the spread that they cooked for Christmas, which is fucking incredible, because most people, even my family back then, could afford, saving up a couple of hundred quid, a few hundred quid to put some money into the food. Everyone could afford that. But could you afford to get your kid, like each kid, imagine in my family, it's me and my 2 little brothers, so it's 3 fucking boys. Could you afford to get 3 boys, 3 different tricycles, Everyone wants a different tricycle, or 3 of the same tricycles. Could you afford to get the boys 3 Game Boys each, That's probably too much. Maybe 3 pairs of Nike trainers. that's already going to be 300, 400 pounds? Of course not. But can you afford to maybe make a really good spread? Maybe order in some bits, get some really good ingredients, make it fucking amazing, and invite his friends to come around and eat? Of course they can. So that made it far more easy to do. So nowadays, I feel like if you do want to do this for your kid, fair play, run it true. But I also do feel like it's probably just as important to probably raise your kid in terms of understanding that Christmas isn't just about gifts. It's about family time. It's about spending time with your loved ones, extended family. It's about spending time just reflecting on life yourself if you're on your own. You know, it's more so about that than the gifts that you get or the gifts that you give type of thing. Or maybe even actually the opposite. Maybe it's actually more important about the gifts that you give other people and how you consider them, and maybe, you know, show them that you're thinking about them by giving them a Christmas gift, or maybe, you know, sending them some Christmas greetings or whatever it may be. But I'm just happy that that era of like having to lie about what you got, or that era of feeling really inadequate, really feeling left out, feeling really broke, feeling really poor, is kind of gone. And you can kind of get away with doing like almost like a Thanksgiving version of Christmas without all the gifts and shit, with no gifts. You know, you don't need to do the gifts thing, which I really do love. And I'm sure it's helped a bunch of people out there who probably were struggling just as much as my family was back in the day. Because it's been quite nice to kind of go back and even now see how things change. You know, people are getting presents in my house. People are, you know, we had extended family come over for Christmas actually, which was quite nice, who visited. So that's good because, you know, we don't really speak to or have a lot of direct communication with a lot of our extended family, unfortunately, but a lot of them did come over this particular year as well, which is really nice. So that was good to see, that kind of like, you know, love and community or whatever, or family love kind of shared between people. And it was also good to see that, you know, my brothers have also kind of got to a position where they're working and, you know, working at good jobs, doing well, earning good money, so they can kind of contribute a bit to the Christmas fund and make that kind of a nice celebration, and we could all chip in, blah, blah, whatever it may be. So big up my little brothers as well for being absolute G's. Big up Chris, actually, the brother just underneath me. Well, there's two, me, Christopher, and Jesse, for also being a G, because he's actually driving at the moment. So I'm really proud of him for that as well. Big up Jesse for holding down the job. He knows well going for that regard. But big up these guys as well for, you know, hanging in there, man, because it was tough. I tell you that, brother, it was fucking tough back then. It was absolutely tough. You know, I can't even, and I think back then as well, I think my parents were also kind of lucky with us, because we clocked early. But I think kids that grow up in like poor circumstances figures that out. I think we clocked very, 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 very early that we didn't have much, you know, and we didn't really put a lot of pressure on our parents. We quickly realized, okay, cool, they're not gonna be able to buy us Air Maxes. We just have to figure the shit out on ourselves, and we did. We made it work ourselves. You know what I mean? Whether it was doing jobs, whether it was doing some certain moves here and there, we figured it out pretty quickly ourselves, because we knew that we weren't gonna get what we needed to get from our parents and shit. So we didn't want to put them under any undue pressure. We didn't want to bother them with anything. We just kind of sorted it out and became quite self-reliant. And that was really good, and I think it kind of has benefited them to kind of realize they could do that. And now, you know, the family's benefiting from them because they're now working well and making money, and they can contribute back to the household and do what needs to be done. So big up my fucking little brothers, the absolute fucking G's. Love to fucking see it. Love to fucking see it. And I've got some other pictures here too as well from the past. These are old pictures, by the way. I think this might have been from like, these pictures might be from like 2005 or 2008, I think, or something like that. So these are very, 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 very old pictures, but still, they kind of give you a kind of an idea, you know what I mean, on what the fucking clan looks like. And wagwan for that one, wagwan for that one. Move on. So let's talk a little bit about this. This is courtesy of, I forgot the guy's YouTube channel, but essentially this kid rocked up and spoke to, what's his face? Who did he speak to? Who does kid 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 speak to? No, the kid spoke to Rihanna. What's the kid speak to? The kid spoke to Rihanna. I'm sure some of you guys know who this kid is. He jumped on, spoke to Rihanna, and essentially had a very good conversation about Rihanna basically being ghetto and being really about it and being on the streets and shit. And this is a really interesting one because it made me think, could this be possible nowadays? Like, do celebrities bother to be like, because I think this is a really cool story. I can't play the Vlad thing, unfortunately, because Vlad is very fucking particular about playing clips of his show and probably end up getting copyright struck or whatever. But there's a really cool clip here that I can't play, but I'm going to play the Rihanna one where Charlamagne speaks about meeting Rihanna randomly in LA, where he's at some place and he's chilling, having a good time. He posts pictures of himself getting fucked up, and then Rihanna kind of hollers at him and says, "Hey, big fan." No. So she hollers at him and says, "Where you at? I'm gonna pull up." He says where they're at. She pulls up by herself on Dolo, and then she picks them up in an Escalade, and they go to some random LA hood party somewhere and have a fucking blast the whole night while they're there, and no one believes him. But I've heard of many stories, people even in the comments saying the same thing, that they've seen Rihanna in like the most random places around America or even around the world, just raving, doing her thing, hanging out and shit. But I wonder nowadays if celebrities even bother with that sort of shit. Or are they more just like bothered or pressured or not even worried about their privacy, where they're just going to stay in kind of like members clubs, go to particular bars or whatever it may be, or just stay in hotels because they're just kind of bothered with having to go out and amongst regular people and get harassed and bothered. I'm not really too sure. But I think the interview with Rihanna was really sweet. So let's play a little bit of it here. I forgot the kid's name, but I think it's going to come up if I press the video.
Savage X! Let's go! Y'all don't know me. I'm ghettos.
AJ, mystery fashionist, who I'm here with, and where you from?
I am from Barbados, and I'm hanging out in New York right now for Christmas. It's cold as fuck. I always, when I see y'all stuff, I'm like, y'all had to set that up. Somebody knew you were coming.
Listen, everything is real organic.
You don't know they're coming.
Rate your outfit from 1 through 10 and let me know what you're wearing.
It's sturdy, so I'm going to give it 10.
I personally love it.
I love it too. It's giving a little vintage Christian Dior. A little YSL pant, boots, some belts.
The belts is crazy.
A guy not a brand hat, my good little Gucci fur bag. What else is there?
The bandana and the chains.
Oh, well, you know, that's literally Canal Street. Yeah. The chains aren't Canal. Hear that? Wait.
What's 5 fashion items you can't live without?
My New York, I can't even say fitted because I don't like the fitteds as much. My forehead is too big for that shit. But the ones with the snapback. Good baggy jeans, good fitted vintage jeans. If you know, you know. I would sell all my purses just for this one. It's the little Speedy Croc LV monogram bag. Amazing.
Somebody need to get her that.
Yeah, hello, Pharrell. Okay. Obviously, underwear. Savage X! Let's go!
What is a common misconception about you?
Y'all don't know me. I'm ghettos.
What's a fashion trend you regret participating in?
Dear God, why you gotta bring up old shit?
I asked this question to somebody and they said that the sweatpants and heels trend. She was on that heavily.
Trend.
That's what I'm saying. They said
the
that
fuck?
started
I would never regret that, especially now as a mom. He was the best thing I could do for my fucking pajamas. I will say, I would say maybe like when I first started and I was wearing like the baggy jeans with the panties out. What the fuck was I thinking, bro?
People still be doing that nowadays.
That's for them.
Yeah.
That is for them. I can't wait for their evolution. It's called growth, y'all. Bells.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm a big fan of Rihanna's, and I think more so because of just her overall vibe, obviously style and shit. But I think the stories could be true because I've always wondered like how she's able to be so comfortable in her own skin, also surrounded by loads of dudes, being like incredibly beautiful as she is, but never kind of looking like she's uncomfortable, never kind of looking like she's a little bit intimidated by her surroundings. And I wonder if some of it has to do with her also being a super celebrity, but never letting the super celebrity dissuade her from living a normal life. Like she tries. Again, it's very hard. I've seen a video of her at the Mariah Carey concert, who she loves, with A$AP Rocky there, and she's having a good time singing along, dancing. And obviously there's cameras all around her. There's people literally with like tripod, with like fucking selfie sticks, video recording her in a crowd as she's dancing and singing. That could be really uncomfortable, really weird. You're having a good time at a concert and all you see are cameras in front of you. And I'm sure it's even stranger for Mariah Carey. She's on the stage singing and people having cameras or somebody in the crowd looking at her. Strange. But she doesn't get perturbed by it. That doesn't put her off. She still keeps going and doing that. So I rate how she keeps kind of like driving forward with that sort of thing. And I think that kind of has kind of aided her nowadays in terms of how she moves, because for a super celebrity, she is quite regular in a way, you know? Like, which is really odd to be like that regular and to be that accessible. Because I've heard stories of people seeing her in London. There was a time when she was living in London for like, I don't know, a few years, I think. People said she was living in London for a few years. I think she might live somewhere like in West London. And people would see her like in Sainsbury's, Tesco's, just chilling, buying her groceries, hanging out and whatever. And I think for the most part, I remember hearing David Beckham say the same thing. I think sometimes when you're a super celebrity, the more regular you act, the more people don't really believe it's even you or won't even pay attention. But if you start walking around like you're some Billy big balls and shit, people then would that kind of be drawn to who this person is peacocking, who's this person walking around with their chest up and shit. But if you act regular, it can actually help you blend in. So maybe there's an element of that, of like, you don't expect to see her on the Central Line. You don't expect to see her on the Northern Line. You don't expect to see her at Tottenham Court Road. But if she is there, acting regular, doing what she needs to be doing, she can easily blend in. So that might kind of be part of it. So big up Rihanna for being an absolute G. Big up Rihanna for being an absolute freaking G. You love to see it. You love to see it. Big up the stream chat as well. What are you guys saying in here? Most people to shut it down. Zaki Best Z. Big up Netwatcher. Donate link ain't working, G. No, I think it is. Why wouldn't it be working? What does it say when you click the link? I think the link is working on my end. What does it say when you click the link? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It goes straight to the page. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the link whatsoever. I don't think there's anything wrong with the link at all, my friend. Big up Josie as well. Shout out to the brother, exactly. Big up Josie. Big up Young Odd Vibes. I like giving people unique things like vintage record. Yeah, that's a nice one actually, Young Odd Vibes. That's a nice one in terms of gifts. I think actually what people do at work is fairly decent. I think the work way of doing Secret Santas and shit is great. Usually it being a very strict sort of like spending limit, which makes you be a bit more resourceful, and it also makes you be a little bit more considerate about what you're gonna get. You're just gonna get something, you know, just for the sake of it. You don't try and get something that can kind of fit that person and what they're into and shit. I think all that stuff's really nice. But the idea of getting something for somebody that's from a vintage shop or a secondhand shop, that's actually a really good idea. Like finding something, you know, that maybe they wouldn't have bought themselves, but it's actually a nice little thing that they are happy to receive, you know, that sort of stuff. Because that's what I don't know. Maybe for me, I think the older you get, maybe when you're younger, you want specific things. I want a camera. I want this games console. But the older you get, sometimes when someone buys you something as a present or gives you a present, that's something that you wouldn't necessarily get yourself, but is very considered and kind of makes you feel seen. That's lovely. I'm not gonna lie, that's lovely. So that vintage shopping thing is actually a very, very, very smart idea. Big up Young God Vibes. Big up Netwatcher. It used to be about helping others, but without the clout. It's about giving, but not getting credit. Just giving for the sake of helping up. Yeah, big up Netwatcher. To be fair though, I'm gonna give that guy a bly. I think there are way more people out there. I think he's talking about the dude who gave the kid the PS5 who was playing the saxophone and busking on the street. I think there are way more people out there who give money to homeless, people in need, that don't document it than the ones that do. I'm a good example of it. The amount of times I've popped out of a shop and I see someone on the street asking for money and I've got, I just withdrew £20. I just give them a tenner. Fuck it. Or I might just give them the whole 20 if I'm feeling like in a good mood, you know? And you don't talk about that sort of stuff. You don't film it. You don't take a selfie with a person, right? You're not asking them to fucking film you a fucking testimony video. You just do it because you feel like you can kind of, maybe if you can help them, why not? And you give it without expecting anything back. So I think there are way more people that do that than don't do that. So I feel like the people on social, they kind of, they look like they represent all of us, but I don't think that's the case. Anyway, I could be wrong. Big up Don Dotta. I used to hate getting clothing as a gift when I was a kid. This Christmas, I got pre-pack of socks from my dad, and it's the best gift I've gotten. Exactly, Don Dotta, yeah. Honestly, getting gifted like a good set of like Nike socks, especially when if someone gives you like the ones that are like white, grey, and black, or if you like all white ones, you get like 3 sets of like nice, thick white Nike socks, or somebody maybe goes to Uniqlo and gets you those 3 packs of socks, or you get some really nice quality underwear, or I don't know, if you like to wear vests, someone gets you a nice fucking base layer vest or some shit, a nice zip up hoodie, a nice pullover hoodie. Yo, that kind of shit will make me cry. Forget getting me fucking Balenciaga and Gucci and Tom Ford. No. Get me a nice pair of socks, some nice underwear. I am gonna go fucking goo goo gaga. You're gonna have me eating out of the palm of your hand. That is an incredible considerate thing, especially for a dude, especially someone like myself. Like if someone gifted me a fucking set, like a fucking skincare set or something, or some really nice serum, or a really nice moisturizer, or a really nice oil, or some nice fragrance, I'm loving that. You know, you don't have to be something crazy special or crazy out there and outlandish. Just something that can kind of help you in your day to day. I'm all for it. Even a fucking nice Tupperware. I'm not gonna lie. I get a nice Tupperware set. I get a nice fucking lunchbox type thing that I can take to work or whatever. I'm fucking laughing. I am loving it. I'm not gonna lie. Get me a nice Tupperware and I'm all for you. I am all for you. But again, what do I know? Absolutely nothing. Let's continue. Let's freaking continue. So the next thing I want to show here is courtesy of Central C's Instagram, no, Central C's Twitter account actually, regarding Can't Rush Greatness and Signer. I think this is a trailer for his up-and-coming album, if I'm not mistaken. But it looks like a little mini movie trailer thing, and I haven't watched it yet, so I want to react to it live here whilst I'm podcasting or streaming with you guys. So as it loads up on here, I want to play it because it looks fairly interesting, and it's an interesting move that he's making towards like maybe doing more acting and creating more like media that way instead of just making it songs and videos. So I'm a really, really big fan of it. So let me see if I can get this loaded up on here. Bear with me a second as I get it loaded. Let's see. There's also some other things here I want to show you too before we continue. Let me get the rest of this stuff loaded and we can kind of move on from there. Big up the stream chat as well. Big up Run It Up. Yeah, we're doing a random show later, my friend. I'm here all day, bro. We're doing a random show later. Do not worry about that, my friend. We are doing a random show later. Do not worry about that, my friend. That's definitely coming up. But for now, we're gonna focus on Tazz. So please strap in for the #1 cultural commentary show in the world. And let's play some of this Central C shit. So big up Central C. This is courtesy of his social media. It says Can't Rush Greatness and Signer, which I think Can't Rush Greatness is the title for his up-and-coming album, and Signer is his brand that he does tracks with and shit with and stuff. So let's see what this is all about.
What are you high? What are you doing?
Chill, man. Just putting on some music.
Where's your fucking gloves?
I don't know, you know.
Oh, this guy's gonna get us bagged, said. Let's go, man.
Cash rules everything around me. I'm about the green like today, St. Patrick. Bro got a pack in the mail, he's tracking. Gassed as soon as it lands in Gatwick. Beef goes hand in hand with a rap thing, so we get bands and spin it on.
Yo, this yard is fat, bro.
Shut up, man. Let's go.
Well, that's Sloan, isn't it? The artist. I don't know who the other kid is. Okay. Interesting. He walks up into the house and ends up putting a bag over the head of a guy, and the guy ends up being him. I don't know what that's about, the trailer, to be fair. I'm not sure what that story that tells. They're going on a ride out, going on a robbery thing, but it does look very well shot, does look very well edited. So I'm curious to see if this is going to be like a long form thing to support the album. Will this make up parts of will the video be will each song on the album be its own video that will tell a story, narrative, basically? Maybe it'll be like, oh, the perspective of like, if I never made it, this one way. If I did make it, if I made it and was the way that people probably would want me to be, here's the way I'm going to be. I'm not really too sure to read into that, to be completely honest, but it did look very well done and very well high produced. And that's something that I've always kind of liked about Central C. Although I can sometimes not be a fan of his music, I do like the fact that everything that he does in terms of media, is always very highly produced and has a lot of quality and clearly a lot of money behind it. That's the one thing I do love about him when it comes to media. He doesn't really skimp. And I feel like he's been like that since he first come on the scene. Since he first arrived on the scene, I feel like he's always spent a lot of money on the visuals, a lot of money on the videos, a lot of money on the album artwork, a lot of money even on the color grading. They don't play no games. They don't cut any corners. So I do love to see that. and hopefully we see that reflected a little bit in the thing when it actually ends up dropping. Right? That's what we end up want to see. We want to see this dropping when it ends up. Did you actually see it? Actually, did you actually play in the video? I think it played, right? Was it actually on the screen, or did I only watch it myself? I'm not sure if I actually even played it. Did I actually even play it on the screen, or did it not show? I'm not too sure. Did it not show? Oh yeah, it didn't even show on the screen. Cool, you didn't even see it on the screen. Bear with me a second. Let me play it again. Now we watched it. You watching it? Really? Yeah, cool. I don't think I played on the screen, so let me get on the screen one more time. I'm absolutely buzzing here. I think probably I've had too many beers, so let me get this playing one more time. I'm all over the shop. Big up everybody tuning in. Appreciate you. Make sure you smash the like button down below. I'm all over the shop having a bunch of Heinekens and podding, because why the hell not? Why the hell not? Let's continue. God damn it, bro. I'm on a mad one today. Honestly, I'm on a fucking mad one. Let's actually go back again. What am I doing now? What am I actually doing right now? God damn, bro. I'm going fucking mad. I was just sitting here looking into the distance and just playing in the background. Cool. Let's play it.
What are you high? What are you doing? Chill, man. Just putting on some music.
Where's your fucking gloves?
Don't know, you know.
Oh, this guy's gonna get us bad sent. Let's go, man.
Cash rules everything around me. I'm about the green like today, St. Patrick. Bro got a pack in the mail, he's tracking. Gassed as soon as it lands in Gatwick. Beef goes hand in hand with a rap ting, so we get bands and spin it on.
Jeez, man. Wow. Yo, this yard is fat, bro. Shut up, man. Let's go.
There you go. So I said previously, no idea what's going on in that video, no idea what the point of it was. But again, I'm hoping this is probably going to form the, a part of a long story. Maybe we'll get like a long video, maybe we get like a mini movie, mini series. Not too sure what's going on there. Let's see what Guan. Central C's acting leaves a lot to be desired. He's got that kind of dead behind the eyes kind of look about him, that 10,000 yard stare. But you never know, it might end up being something quite nice or kind of something cool to check out. Like I said previously, I do love the fact that he spends a lot of money in these visuals and creates kind of moments around these albums and shit going forward. So let's see what happens with this going forward. I'm eager to see how it develops. I'm eager to see how it ends up developing, if it ends up doing. Next, we want to talk about a little bit about these Air Jordan 5 metallic reimagines that are dropping in February. I actually think in January, or no, in the new year, there's, I think, new reimagined Jordan 1s and Jordan 5s dropping. I think there's 2 Jordan 1s, Black Toe and something else, I think Chicago. And then I think there's a metallic black 5 dropping in February. Personally, for me, I've always been a big fan of Jordan 5s. They're kind of hard to wear in a way. The shape is really odd in terms of how far the toe is away from the tongue. They've got a really strange kind of shape about them. They're almost like a bit of a mid. But I also do love, I remember back in the day, like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith, his character in that show would always wear Jordan 5s without the laces. So that's kind of the way that I want to wear them when I end up getting another pair. Because, back in the day when we were wearing Jordan 5s, around the time that Fearless London was coming up, or, Kanye and shit, it was always with like skinny jeans or whatever, or baggy jeans tucked behind the tongue. And obviously Fearless London would always wear them with skinny jeans. But I actually do love the style of wearing them without laces, because if I'm not mistaken, the tongue on the Jordan 5 metallics has a bit of elastic on either side. So your foot kind of, stays. But it also means you don't need to wear the laces if you don't need to. Because if you buy the correct size, your feet can kind of stay without laces kind of keeping your foot in place. So that's what I might end up doing when I do end up buying these when they come out in February. Is taking off the laces and just wearing them sans laces and having kind of dropped the way they are. But if you're not familiar, the reimagined series of these Jordans, they're doing them a lot now with the retros. The reimagined Jordans are essentially Nike or Jordan Brand's way try and get sneakerheads to buy them, because the quality of Jordan retros in recent years hasn't been great. So what they're doing in the Reimagined ones is that they're trying to retro the shoes based on the old, you know, a style and shape and materials of the original shoe when it originally dropped. Now, in my opinion, I don't think the Jordan 5 Reimagined is that similar to the actual original Jordan 5 when it dropped in terms of shape, but it's better than no more the retros. So I feel like the Jordan 4 Reimagined is pretty decent as a shape, but still isn't bang on in terms of, you know, retroing a like for like one of one copy of what they did when Tinker Hatfield first designed that shoe. I don't know why they could, like, I still don't have an answer to this day. I remember when I used to work for Nike, I would ask these questions all the time and I'd never get the correct answer. But I never could quite work out why Nike can't just reverse engineer shoes that they already released back in the day to the exact specifications of how they released when they originally dropped. So the Jordan 4, if you remember, back in the day, the Jordan 4 shape, when I think it dropped like, I think in 80s or 90s, if I'm not mistaken, I think in late 80s. The original shape was a lot more triangular in a way. It's a lot more pointy around the front. It looks a lot more like a cross trainer and less kind of like, you know, unnecessarily bulky. It looks a lot more sleek. It just looked really nice. But they can't retro those. They can't reverse engineer them. And you know, they'll say the tooling's very expensive and the molds, whatever. But other brands can. Like Adidas have a whole kind of line of like retro shoes that they do. Even Converse have this line where it comes to the Converse. I forgot what they called the actual one they do, where they retro it. But all these brands can retro shoes to exact specification of how they made them, especially for Nike. They seem to always be cutting corners, doing a bare minimum. But I guess I know why, because, you know, people still buy them. So even if they're not good quality, they're going to buy them. Like the Jordan 4 Retro Metallics are like a staple shoe in any sneakerheads collection, up there with infrared flipping 6s and shit, and, you know, bred Jordan 4s. So in some respects, they don't need to go to great lengths to try and make this to the specifications of the original shape. They just need to make it good enough and people will still buy it. But, you know, maybe it's not to its aspects. But like I said, I'm probably still going to buy it because it's still a great shoe. And it's something that will probably, weirdly enough, because there's not a lot of Jordan 4 5s out there now in the scene or the industry, it weirdly stand out a lot more now, which is interesting because no one really wears Jordan 5s or any Jordans at all nowadays. Maybe Jordan 1s at most, but no one actually wears all the other numbers. So maybe it might end up sticking out more than it did in the past when it did originally drop. But in general, the shoe looks fucking beautiful. As you can see here, black upper, nice flipping, I guess the icy blue mesh on the side that matches the icy blue outsole. You got some metallic flashes there on the midsole. I love the lines here actually on the raw edge that gives this kind of white kind of border on the shoe, helps to kind of break it up. You could actually blacken it if you wanted to, but I feel like that adds a little bit of dynamism to the shoe itself. You got the Jumpman logo on the tongue, you got the drawstring laces there on the front, and you've also got the addition of the Nike Air logo, which is kind of like, you know, the pièce de resistance for any Jordan brand fan or for any Jordan fan, not to have the fucking, you know, Jumpman logo on the back, but instead have the original Nike Air on the back there, which is absolutely cool and you absolutely love to see it. So big up Jordan brand for those ones. Can't wait to them to drop when they do eventually drop sometime in February. Now, moving on. We got this post regarding the Nike Air Foamposite 1 Galaxy that returns for All-Star Weekend, I'm assuming, in 2025. I've got a really love-hate relationship with Foamposites. I feel like whenever I see a Foamposite online that I like the colorway, I like the shape online, and I like them with other people. But whenever I wear them myself, they look just so horrible. I don't know what it is about the shoe. I don't know if it's the size. I don't know if it's the style. I don't know what I go on, but regardless of what I try and do to make Foamposites work, it can never work for me, ever. So I'm not too sure if I should even, you know, be trying to spend whatever retail will be on these Galaxies to try and make them work when they're not going to work. But then when you see this shoe and you see this picture of the outsole glowing in the dark like the way it is now, you're like, God damn, you got to have this in it. Especially with the Galaxy stars kind of upper and the glowing in the dark, it kind of looks extraterrestrial. You kind of want to be a part of that. You kind of want to have this in your fucking collection. But I'm also very aware that I'm not too sure if these shoes will actually look good on me. I'm not too sure if I would actually wear them that often. But I do love that they are retroing the Galaxy shoe very soon when it comes to the Foamposite. And I'm sure they're going to go absolutely crazy. And they're going to sell out like hotcakes anyway. Because people, apart from me, absolutely love Foamposite. So big up them. Big up them. Next, we got this courtesy of Hype Never Dies, where we got featured here. There's Balenciaga Spring Summer 2025 Ambassador t-shirts, which is a pretty cool idea actually going forward. Very simple, very cool. Essentially, Balenciaga has ambassadors, people that they put in their campaigns, mostly celebrities, people like Kim Kardashian and others, and they're basically doing an ambassador series tees. Maybe this will be like a long-term project where they've got like photo tees of their ambassadors. This particular one being Kim, featured on a Balenciaga t-shirt. Next one you've got Isabel Huppert, or Isabel Huppert. Next one you've got Nicole Kidman, and the other one you got who's that one? Michelle Yeoh. So essentially in the style of a band tee, or in style of like a Sade t-shirt, you've got these really cool flipping t-shirts that Balenciaga's made as a tribute to kind of people out there who be fans of these kind of people. And I guess in terms of picking who the people were, maybe it's just like, you know, some of my gay friends, here you go, enjoy this, you know what I mean? I'm not too mad at it all, I ain't too mad at it all. So big up everybody, and big up Balenciaga ambassador tees. You definitely will be seeing those soon. If you live in an area next to an international school, you'll definitely be seeing those Balenciaga, you know, ambassador t-shirts being done by all types of people very, 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 very soon, around wherever you may be, around wherever you may be. But again, what do I know? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Next on my list is this regarding Hypebeast, and this article regarding the JW Anderson and Uniqlo Preppy 2025 collection that's dropping in January 9th on Uniqlo. So JW Anderson's linked back up again with Uniqlo for another collection, another collab, and this is absolutely banging. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually really, really nice. And it comes around the same time that it's been rumored that JW Anderson is going to be leaving Loewe and maybe going to Dior. So it's cool, you know, to see this stuff is still rolling out. But I guess because it's separate, it's its own namesake, it won't really be affected by whatever job he's going to get in the high fashion world. But it does look really freaking good for once. Because I've kind of missed out I feel like I've missed out on maybe 4 seasons of JW Anderson and Uniqlo stuff. The last time I bought anything was probably from that collection with the tartan down jacket. I think that might have been 2 years ago. That's about it, you know. I've kind of left it alone for the most part. But some of the stuff here looks really nice. Some of the blazers, the socks and shit, the styling obviously is on point. You know, some of the knits are really nice as well. Some of the sweatshirts or hoodies are really also nice. And the jeans. What's that? What am I jealous of? We got here a jumper wrapped around the girl's shoulder, which is quite nice as well. And we've also got this really nice chambray all denim outfit, denim head to toe, denim jeans, features as well with a nice kind of bag there that you can hold as a clutch, I guess. And you got a nice here as well overall. The hoodie, yeah, the jumper looks really nice. I'm not gonna lie, the jumper looks really, really tasty. What's actually the back of the jeans? Is there anything more remarkable? Okay, yeah, I don't mind that either. I don't mind a little hit on the back of the jeans there to show people Wagwan and what you're wearing, so they don't think you're wearing some any guy fucking jeans out there. They're actually JWA. I love to see it. Some nice zip up hoodies. So another pair of jeans, a nice overcoat. What else has he got there? What else has he got there? You got another nice one, nice hat as well, which I'm a big fan of. The shorts are also nice. That striped t-shirt is definitely something that I would definitely wear without shadow of a doubt. That elongated, extra long denim shirt, hopefully that comes in men's. That's a really nice kind of piece to actually be able to layer with. There's also that poplin shirt as well, it looks really tasty, I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, man, it looks good. Most of it looks really, really, really good. Really happy. So love to see it. And it just got a good vibe about it, do you know what I mean? Just looks really, really nice, really preppy, really fresh, without being overly pretentious or stuck up its own ass. So I'm sure this will be very successful. So big up everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. Let's continue on here. What else have we got there? We talking about that. We spoken about Sloan. Sloan's got allegedly an upcoming collaboration with Louis Vuitton, allegedly. I'm not too sure what to make of this because I think Sloan's a bit of a troll and a bit of a prankster. I think prior he did kind of fake the whole like Supreme collaboration, which would have been sick to be fair, but unfortunately it was fake, it wasn't real. So I'm not too sure if this Louis Vuitton collaboration is actually legit. It feels like it could be, but I don't know, you know. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But this is the Sloan t-shirt, as you can see here, courtesy of the screen. It features an LV design or the LV monogram or the LV kind of logo, and it also features the signature of Slon running through the entirety of the logo itself, with some other words written underneath as well that say Louis Vuitton something something something. But in general, it's a really nice tee. Very well designed in general, but like I said, I'm not too sure if it's actually been really originally signed off. It would be cool if they did though. It would be a real write-off, but who knows? But who freaking knows? Absolutely nobody. Absolutely nobody. And then the last one I got to talk about here is regarding this. Big up Nigo. Nigo's got a new jacket coming out, courtesy of Nike. This is, I guess, tying in with his other sort of stuff he's got going on with Nike with the shoes and shit. So he's drip feeding the scene with more bombers and whatnot. Maybe he's doing it slowly because he wants to make sure everybody gets it first. I'm not too sure, but regardless, love to see that, you know, love to see it kind of leaving and stuff, you know. That's really cool. So big up them. But the actual jacket itself, before I continue here, is really freaking nice. It says just did it in the front here. It's kind of an interesting shape. Looks like a racing jacket in a weird way, but also has the style of a varsity jacket. It's got a really big sort of like patch on one of the sides that says, I guess, Nike as well. Just did it as well, written in the front. Obviously the logos there is what featured courtesy of Ranter and Pierce of their own shit. So yeah, really nice jacket. Can't wait to see the full collection. I'm assuming most likely this will also come with like trousers and other bits and bobs, but so far so good when it comes to this. So far that I've seen from Nigo, he's already done some good sweatshirts, some great t-shirts, good kind of coach jackets and whatever. So I'm assuming with their resources we'll be able to kind of wrap this up and go, you know, go crazy, you know. Yeah, go crazy, go freaking crazy for sure, for sure, for sure. Anyways my friends, that has been the Agostino's English Show episode number 852. Thank you for tuning in to Agostino's English Show episode number 852, part 2 of the DJ Alfredo special. Again, RIP to DJ Alfredo, an absolute legend in the game. Very sad to hear about his passing. So big up DJ Alfredo. For those of you wondering, we're going to do the random show in about an hour. We're going to do the random show in 1 hour. The random show in 1 hour. I will be updating you guys with a link in the Discord, but keep an eye out on the random show channel. The link is in the description if you want to find it. But it'll be going in 1 hour, 8 p.m. my time, 8 p.m. UK time. We'll be starting the random show. It'll be a nice long one this time. I've got nothing to do tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. Should be a good one. We're gonna watch a lot of it. We're gonna watch a lot of Brendan, a lot of what's the other show we're gonna watch? We're gonna watch The Fight of the Kid. We're also gonna do a bit of Shorb Show. We're gonna go through some of the Reddit stuff. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you tune in. I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Always a pleasure, never a chore. Today, my tune of the day, as actual, you know, as a tribute to the one and only DJ Alfredo. The tribute that we're going to play, or I'm going to play for the audio side of the listeners, will be Soul to Soul, Back to Life. Big up DJ Alfredo, another song that he was kind of famous for playing when it first kind of came out over there in Ibiza. So that's going to be my outro song for those of you listening via the podcasting apps. You will hear this playing underneath my voice. If you're not listening to the podcast apps, you're watching this via YouTube, unfortunately, you won't hear it because YouTube is a bit finicky when it comes to copyright shit and whatnot. But the tune of the day is Soul to Soul, Back to Life. Thank you for tuning in to the Random Show episode number 852, sorry. It's been a pleasure to have your company. Links to me and the show, to rate it, all that malarkey should be in the description down below. You can email there also. And I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care, my friends. It's been a pleasure, never a chore. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Peace.